So let's talk a little bit about storage and software-defined storage, what we mean by it, and why we are focusing on it so heavily here at VMware. Not a lot of people think about VMware or thought about VMware as a storage company, but in reality, our engineering team has a strong DNA in storage. For a long time, we've been developing storage-related technologies, adding them to vSphere as a platform. As opportunities and trends happened and new challenges emerged, we expanded our investment in storage and introduced a whole bunch of new functionalities and added a whole bunch of new plans around our product delivery in storage-related technologies. We see storage as a key part of the data center we can innovate in to be able to achieve the software-defined data center vision that the company has. Now, when we talk to customers, there are several challenges that we hear about related to storage. You see some of them here described and summarized in this slide. Cost and the dependency on expensive specialized hardware is certainly one of the topics that we hear the most. Cost becomes an issue, particularly when you start having to deliver high performance, or performance is a critical aspect of what you want to achieve from and get out of your storage. Management, and in particular the paradigm, the legacy paradigm of managing storage from legacy constructs around delivering and controlling classes of services for your applications. It's something that today really creates significant pain points for our customers, especially when it comes to managing storage in virtual environments. And last but not least, processes and human processes. Very complicated to provision, control, manage, troubleshoot storage. Many parties involved. A lot of overhead from an IT standpoint. So lack of automation and time-consuming processes are certainly something that we hear a lot. Now, what we see the opportunity here to change the game with software-defined storage, and it's software-defined storage as a concept really took off over the last 12 months, and a lot of companies, pretty much all the storage vendors, have a view on what software-defined storage is and what it should be. And of course, we at VMware, we have our view on it too. And there's really two key components of software-defined storage the way we see it. A new data plane and a new control plane. So at the data plane level, really our objective is to move from this legacy of specialized hardware into more of a commodity standardized hardware architecture, leveraging what in the industry is emerging as the concept of a server SAN. It's definitely under everybody's eyes. Server SANs are enabling a new storage architecture that we believe is particularly interesting, especially in virtual environments, but even beyond that. Server SANs are enabled by new hardware trends and like flash, and the emergence of server-side flash in particular that opens up the opportunity to now give you high performance storage from x86 infrastructure. But other things like the continued growth in core capacity from your CPUs, as well as high density RAM, are important aspects that enable this, coupled with, of course, virtualization as now pretty much the de facto standard for most of our customers to run and deploy applications. So we want to leverage these hardware trends and leverage x86. We think that we know x86 very well. We know how to abstract, pool, and manage x86 probably as good as anybody in the industry. We want to leverage this to bring a new architectural form to storage. The second component is really about the management of storage, and this goes back to that initial thought about how do we control classes of services across heterogeneous infrastructure with greater automation and more dynamic processes. And this is really where our new policy-based control plane vision fits in, and something that customers can start taking advantage of today when managing storage and virtual infrastructure from VMware. So the idea here for us is to leverage the hypervisor. We think the hypervisor plays a critical role in terms of being able to lead this transformation, not just because it's ubiquitous, but also because it sits in a very particular spot of the IT stack It's hardware agnostic, and it knows applications very well. All the I/O traffic travels through the hypervisor. We know the virtual machine because that's where the virtual machine has been provisioned and controlled. So we want to leverage the hypervisor to drive this new vision for storage. And the two key components of our strategy here are really virtual SAN that implements this new data plane directly from the hypervisor in its current form, delivers what we call a hyper-converged, or as VMware would like to call it, hypervisor-converged architecture. So I'm able to deliver this distributed object storage optimized for VMs directly from vSphere with data persistence capabilities. So it's a full storage system. And it's coupled with the new management data plane that we talked about. That's our vSphere storage policy-based management layer that delivers this new application-centric, policy-driven control plane. So if you manage vSAN today, you do it through policy. It's built around this concept from the ground up. And I'm sure we'll have a deep discussion around this as Christos walks through the vSAN architecture. Now, our vision doesn't end with vSAN and the hypervisor delivered stack. We do recognize that storage is a very heterogeneous component of the infrastructure. We don't think that that's going to change. If nothing else, it's going to become even more heterogeneous. External storage arrays is what customers are using today primarily to deliver storage to their applications, and we believe that that's going to continue to be an important component of the infrastructure going forward. And so in that sense, we want to extend the common manageability, a common layer of management across the entire infrastructure to realize the benefits from an OpEx standpoint of our vision. And so with virtual volumes that we just introduced a month ago, and it's about to ship, we are extending our policy-based control plane to external storage arrays. And we think this is going to be a very revolutionary thing and very revolutionary technology in this space that will, for the first time, allow customers to have this common control plane, common management framework across heterogeneous storage infrastructure. So before I turn it over to Christos, just a very quick summary about what we have announced just very recently. You probably are very well familiar with both announcements. In Q1, we released our second version of Virtual SAN 6.0. This is going to be kind of the center of the discussion today, as well as the first release of virtual volumes.